One last little tool that I wanted to show was just, well, I guess it's actually going to be showing you two different parts of my workflow, was being able to copy information across attributes. So first off, I just realized this might just be a good time to explain what I'm doing with flyouts anyways. So if I want to build a flyout, I've had this before I figured out the universal trick of keeping universal information in all your presets that might get used for phasers. I kept a template flyout around anyways, and then I just go from that and update what my integrated presets are. So right now there's no integrated preset. I go into my positions and I say, so you start with where you want the flyout to end. That part's a little counterintuitive because in your phaser editor, your last step is where the very beginning of your whole editor is happening from. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say MA at for integrate. No, don't hold it down. MA at will end with up. So we're going to hit that. Then next step, we're going to start it down. I feel like I just did that backwards from what I said. Nope. All right. So there's our flyout. So you just have the template. You integrate new presets and you're up and going. And then I can store that and whatever, phaser to recipe, same stuff you've already seen. What I was making this video to actually show you though was that let's say I want to make a zoom out effect where instead of dimmer turning on, fixtures move, and then they dimmer off, I wanted to do that but with zoom instead. So I've actually got an encoder bar built here that has pan tilt and zoom next to each other, but let's pretend I didn't. I've got this clone attributes and selection macro, and all this is it just lets you pick an attribute. It waits for you to hit it again so that you can change whatever they're called, attribute groups now. Lets you pick the second attribute, and then it clones from one to the other in the programmer. So I can say I want to clone from tilt. I can hop over to focus, click the macro again, clone to zoom, and we'll clone high priority in the programmer. Now in our phaser editor, we have a zoom line. So I can go, now that I've taken that, I can off pan, I can off tilt, and I can integrate my narrow and wide positions here. So I'll come here and I'll say we're ending at wide, so I'll start there. And then step 2, we'll integrate narrow. Again, integrate is MA at, and that's what lets you put a preset into a step of a phaser. And if I go back to my phaser, we now have, well, let me store that because the cloning screwed up the phasing. Lyra at this, I can even go ahead and throw some wings on it, and now we have a zoom flyout effect instead of a pan tilt one. So you can use that to, if you have a relationship of phase transition, whatever it is on your waveform that you want to reuse somewhere else, you can use cloning across attributes in MA3 to get that information copied over, and then you can integrate your preset and you can store that as a new thing.